Hi and welcome to another episode of LPPTV. I'm Claire Brummell, the Relationist, creator of Love, Polarity and Passion.com. And last week we talked about quite a controversial topic because I talked about, is there any such thing as the one? And I burst the bubble about the one. It was a bubble that I had burst for me. I believed my whole life that there was one perfect person. And if we just find that perfect person, everything would be easy, everything would be manageable, everything would flow and be effortless. And since I shifted my perspective and my approach to that, it totally transformed my experience of relationship and has totally transformed the relationship I'm in today, which I'm incredibly grateful for because it's a wonderful relationship. Now today I'm going to get even more controversial because I'm going to share with you why commitment could be killing your relationship. Now, why do I say this? I say this because I have seen this everywhere I go. I see it with clients, I've seen it in my past relationships, I see it when I do talks and when I do workshops around the world. What happens when people meet is that they meet, they feel an attraction and they want the other person to choose them. So they put all this effort in right at the beginning and they want the other person to choose them and be their special someone. So they're putting all of this effort in and all of this attention into the relationship. And what happens is, we then hit a point where we decide we're going to commit to each other. And when we first commit to each other, because we want that commitment to work and to last, we continue to put the effort in. But what happens is, over the long term, is that commitment equals complacency. We assume that the other person is always going to be there. We assume that it doesn't matter what happens, because we're committed, we're in a committed relationship, they're going to be there for the duration. And when we feel they're going to be there for the duration, we don't feel like we need to put as much effort in. It creates this lack of, this complacency, which actually breeds a lack of effort. It stops us from putting effort into our relationship in the here and now. And what ends up happening is that we stop paying attention to our relationship, we stop investing in our relationship, we stop doing things for the relationship. Life happens, gets in the way, and this is part of the reason that there are so many challenges with long-term relationships ending and going their own separate ways. This is part of the reason that there's so many challenges with divorce, because we put the effort in at the beginning of the relationship and towards the end of the relationship we stopped putting the effort in, we got complacent, and because we stopped putting the effort in, the relationship fell apart. So what I invite my clients to do, and what I have done, which has totally transformed my relationship, is stop assuming that somebody is going to be there tomorrow. We know from the divorce rates that just because you're married to somebody doesn't mean to say they're always going to be there. It's possible that you could go your own separate ways. It's possible that at some point one or other or both of you could decide this isn't working anymore, we're going to end it. So just because you've got a piece of paper, just because you've made a commitment in front of friends and family, doesn't mean to say it's going to be there forever. So instead of assuming it's going to be there forever, instead, how about not assuming it's going to be there forever and assuming that there's no guarantee that they're still going to be there tomorrow? Because the thing that works well about that is that if I want my partner to continue to show up in our relationship tomorrow, I've got to show up today. I've got to put the effort in today if I want him to continue to be there tomorrow. And if he wants me to continue to be there tomorrow, he's got to show up today. And the thing is that what happens when we do that is, instead of just sitting back on our laurels and assuming they're going to be there, if we constantly put the effort in to make sure that if we want them to be there, that they continue to want to be there because of how we're being in the relationship. We're putting effort in, we're trying, we're making the effort, we're trying to understand them, we're trying to grow. We want to do things, we want to share things with each other. And this totally transforms the complacency in relationships, because there is no complacency if there's no guarantee they're going to be there tomorrow. Now, I'm not saying that there's a guarantee they're not going to be there tomorrow. That's different. We're not saying that we're assuming that they're not going to be there tomorrow. We're just not assuming that they are. And when we don't assume that they are going to be there tomorrow, we continue to put the effort in today. And when we put the effort in today, the chances are they are far more likely to want to be there tomorrow. The way that we look at our relationship is that we choose each other every single day. And every single day, if I want him to keep choosing me, I need to give him a reason to keep choosing me. If he wants me to keep choosing him, he's got to give me a reason to keep choosing him. And the reason is that we're both invested, that we both continue to put effort and attention on our relationship. Now, of course, life happens and things happen and things get in the way. But by not assuming they're going to be there tomorrow, that day of, okay, I'm not prioritising my relationship today because something else has happened and I need to do something else, means that tomorrow we put our attention back on the relationship again. We don't go weeks, days, weeks, or even months without considering or thinking about our relationship, because that's what happens when people then start to drift apart, and that's when breakups happen. So what I invite you to do is I invite you to consider actually not assuming that they're going to be there tomorrow. Even if you're married, even if you've made that commitment in front of other people that you're going to be together for life, know that in this culture, divorce is a reality. It is a possibility. And therefore, don't assume they're going to be there tomorrow. Want them to continue to be there tomorrow. In order to make sure that they want to continue to be there tomorrow, continue to put the effort in today. Now, does this guarantee you're going to be together forever? Of course not. Things happen, people change, circumstances change. People do still grow apart. If you will have seen in the video I shared last week, people are in for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Relationships are still going to start and they're still going to end. But the thing is that the relationship won't end because of a lack of effort. It won't happen that it just drifts apart. If it does come to an end, it comes to an end because it's not meant to last forever. It comes to an end because that's what's right for it, not because no one's put the effort in and it's just slipped away. So I encourage you to help me share this by tweeting the love. And I'd love for you to tweet, if you want your partner to show up tomorrow, you have to show up today. If you want your partner to show up tomorrow, you have to show up today. And all that means, it doesn't take a lot of hard work. Relationships don't take hard work, but they do take effort. It takes mindfulness, it takes awareness, it takes putting attention on the relationship. It takes thinking about your partner, looking at their needs, thinking, what could I do for them today? What could I do for the relationship today? It doesn't have to be huge things, but all the little things gradually add up, and they end up with a situation where somebody really wants to spend time with you because you are demonstrating through your actions that you want to be with them. So I would love to hear your experiences of this. Have you been in a situation? I know from personal experience, I've had so many relationships where we got into a relationship, we got committed to each other, and we stopped putting the effort in. Everything else got in the way. Life got in the way, business got in the way, jobs, family, friends, other things happened and got in the way, and it meant that our relationship did this. It may have happened gradually, it may have happened over time rather than it being one day we were together, the next day we're not. But all of a sudden we woke up one day and we were more like buddies, roommates, rather than intimate lovers and partners. And so I know I've been in that situation where I've had the commitment that's created the complacency, and it's created a lack of effort on both of our parts, and the relationship has fallen apart as a result of it. On the flip side, I've been in a situation where in my relationship now, we are both continuing to put effort in. Not necessarily huge amounts of work, we're constantly putting little bits of effort in, and all those little bits of effort add up to a huge amount of credit in the bank. And that means that my partner wants to carry on showing up for me because I keep showing up for him, and I want to show up for him because he keeps showing up for me. So I'd love to hear your experiences. Have you been in a situation where things have just drifted apart? Or have you learned this and you've been in a situation where you've continued to put the effort in and you've seen the relationship grow and grow and grow and blossom because you're continuing to keep attention on the relationship and not just let it dissipate? A relationship is like a living, breathing thing. You need to put the effort into it if you want to sustain it through the long term. And maybe you have questions about this. Maybe you want to know, what do I mean by showing up today? What do I mean by putting the effort in? What does that look like? Or maybe you've got questions because of a specific situation that you're in, where maybe you feel like you're putting the effort in, but maybe your partner isn't. Or you've put the effort in, but things don't seem to be working still. Please share your questions and comments underneath here, and I'd love to record an episode of LPPTV that will answer your specific questions in this area. Did you enjoy today's video? If so, please subscribe to us here on YouTube. That way you get every episode of LPPTV as soon as it is available. And please share this. As I said, this is something I see happening all the time. There is huge problems with breakups in terms of long-term relationships, both in terms of married and non-married people. And if people understood that they need to keep the attention and keep the effort on their relationship, it would transform things, and it would mean that the rate of breakup would not be as high. So please share this with people that you know. Share this with couples, with friends, with family, with people who you know could benefit from the information. You can do it via Facebook, by Google+, via Twitter, via email, however you want to share it, make sure that you share the word with them, because it's going to transform their lives in the way that it's transformed mine. And if you enjoyed today's video, come and subscribe for updates at lovepolarityandpassion.com. That way you get every episode of LPPTV sent directly to your inbox. You get a few little articles that will help you with your relationship along the way, and you'll get a couple of other bonuses and gifts thrown in for good measure along the way. I hope you've enjoyed today's video as much as I've enjoyed sharing with you. I can't wait to speak to you very, very soon. And as always, in the meantime, remember to be the love you want in your life. I'll catch you next time.